Of another win at the weekend at the Nordschleife. How are you feeling coming here to Singapore? Lots of talk about you being in the championship fight, the run you've had. How significant do you think this weekend will be around here for that?
Just as any other. I mean, I just try to do my best. Of course, I know that this in the past has not been particularly our strongest track. Plus, sometimes a bit unfortunate to get a better result around here at the same time. So, just relaxed, just having fun. Here, outside of F1, just having in that sense a good season.
Great stuff. Well, good luck this weekend as well. Thanks.
I assume as racing drivers you learn something on every lap, no matter what car, no matter on what circuit. So was there anything that you could take away from that could just apply to your general learnings?
Yeah, but I do that already for a lot of years, on the simulator, driving these kind of cars. But like you said, there's also learning the track better in the wet and damp, and knowing every curb, every bump even more, from new tires to old tires, more fuel, like high fuel, low fuel, just dealing with traffic. But everything felt supernatural because it might sound funny, but I've been doing this for many, many years on the simulator multi-class racing, and it is exactly the same. So I had just a lot of fun out there, and also, with my teammate Chris, for him to do that race as well, I think we had a good time together.
I just wondered, this is the bogey track. You've already said it. You've unfinished business here. The only track on the current list that you haven't won at. So how do you turn around that fortune? Do you think there's something there that you've missed so far, or tell me?
Well, I think just in general, we've never really been that good here with the car. So then there are always places where it's a bit more difficult to win. I hope this year will be better. I mean, last year we were second, but we were quite far from first. So we definitely need to try and be more competitive. But it's difficult to say at the moment, of course, how competitive we are going to be.
Obviously, Max, you're saying you enjoy driving other cars other than Formula One cars as well. But I think in the same time, you also motivate young generations. How important is for you to spot talented race drivers also in the sim racing world and then help to get them for a drive?
Well, that has been the goal for a while now, of course, already with Team Redline. We just try and give that opportunity to a guy that I think really has it in him, to be a professional racing driver, and hopefully, of course, can build on a professional racing career. So for sure, also for the future, we want to try and keep that line open, that you can become a professional driver from the sim racing world, which at the moment is not that easy, of course, to do. But I think with how we are preparing drivers at the moment, it definitely gives more possibilities.
Amazing stuff. Thank you.
Max, ask the other driver if possible you can win the championship. And Russell told me 100%, Kimi 40%, Leclerc 10%, Norris can be. What do you think about?
It's going to be 50-50.
50-50?
Yes or no? It's very simple maths. Maybe yes, maybe no. But we'll see. We'll do our best. I mean, honestly, I don't think about it myself. I just want to look at it race by race. We, as a team, also we are learning a lot about the car. I think we are heading in the right direction with what we are doing with the car. I think we just need to see every race weekend. It might be good enough or not, and we'll see how that will be this weekend.
Max Verstappen just made a statement that has shocked everyone in Formula One. What he said before the Singapore Grand Prix could be the clearest sign yet that Red Bull is at a critical crossroads. Is the four-time Formula One champion admitting that his car isn't ready for what's coming? Before we continue, tell me in the comments, do you think Verstappen will be able to break his losing streak in Singapore, or will it once again be his weak point? Because the big question is, what's going on inside Red Bull that makes Max speak so cautiously at this crucial moment? Stay until the end. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. In this video, we'll break down Max Verstappen's most recent remarks, analyze what's really hidden behind his statements ahead of the 2025 Singapore GP, and what this could mean not only for him, but for Red Bull's immediate future this season. Max Verstappen arrives at the 2025 Singapore Grand Prix at a crucial point in the season, carrying both Red Bull's hopes and the weight of history. After victories at Monza and Baku, it seemed the RB21 had regained some life, and that the four-time Formula One world champion could once again make a comeback in a championship that, until a few weeks ago, was practically lost. These two victories not only revitalized the team, but also gave Verstappen a morale boost, having struggled more than expected in the first half of the year. However, despite this boost of confidence, his words before Singapore were a reminder that Formula One is unforgiving. This circuit represents a very different challenge than Monza or Baku. What makes this context so unique is the honesty with which Verstappen faced the moment. Far from the triumphant declarations one might expect after two consecutive victories, his tone was cautious, almost warning. Referring to Singapore as the true test for Red Bull, Max made it clear that neither he nor the team are under any illusions. Recent victories have come on tracks favorable to the RB21's characteristics, but Marina Bay, with its high downforce and brutal demands on the tires, represents just the opposite. The Dutchman knows that if the car struggles again in these conditions, previous victories will be seen more as an exception than a solid trend. This sincerity contrasts with what is traditionally expected of a driver in his position. Verstappen made no attempt to disguise the car's limitations or sell artificial confidence. He openly acknowledged that the ghosts of Zandvoort could reappear in Singapore, where the RB21 showed all its weaknesses on a track with very similar characteristics. By recalling that episode, Max is setting the tone. He doesn't want the public, the paddock, or even his own team to fall into a false euphoria. In other words, his statement isn't just a technical analysis, but also a communicative strategy to ease the pressure while simultaneously leaving room for any positive results to be even more appreciated. There have always been rumors surrounding Max Verstappen, but what's happening in the run-up to the Singapore Grand Prix has taken on special weight. His cautious statements and lack of absolute confidence in the RB21's performance have sparked all sorts of interpretations in the paddock. Some specialized media outlets have pointed out that his speech is a way of protecting himself against a possible poor result, while others interpret it as a direct warning to the team. Red Bull has yet to resolve the fundamental problems with its car on high downforce circuits. This view fuels the feeling that, despite recent victories, the team continues to navigate in uncertain waters. One of the strongest rumors revolves around internal tensions within Red Bull. The arrival of Laurent Mekies as the new team principal marked a drastic change in the management structure, and although official talk is of stability, leaks suggest that not everyone within the team is comfortable with the new dynamic. Verstappen, always very direct, hasn't hidden the fact that his working philosophy has changed, fueling speculation about how the driver really feels about the direction the team is taking. In this sense, his cautious tone in pre-race press conferences can be interpreted as a reflection of the doubts that still exist within the organization itself. Red Bull's official position at this point is one of cautious optimism. Technical management has insisted that the latest updates to the RB21, particularly the new floor introduced at Monza, have extended the car's operating window and made it more manageable. Pierre Watch, the team's technical director, has acknowledged that these improvements are real, but at the same time noted that Singapore will be the real test to measure whether they really work on a track as demanding as Marina Bay. This statement suggests that there is confidence within the team, yes, but also a recognition that they cannot hide their historical weaknesses on this type of circuit. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen was clear and direct, which is surprising coming from a driver who usually displays confidence in every word. The Dutchman recalled what happened at Zandvoort, where the car showed all its limitations and conditions very similar to those in Singapore, high downforce and severe tire wear. By bringing up that example, Verstappen not only expressed his doubts about the current situation, but also made it clear that the team cannot repeat the same mistakes. His words were not simply a technical comment, but a way of emphasizing that Red Bull needs to respond now, without excuses, if it wants to keep hope alive for the season. If Red Bull suffers again in Singapore, the consequences will go far beyond a poor result in a single weekend. First, the direct impact would be on the drivers' championship, as Verstappen would virtually lose any real chance of closing the gap on McLaren. Marina Bay is a key race because of what it represents. Not only is it one of the most demanding circuits, but also a benchmark that allows us to clearly measure which teams have a truly competitive car in all scenarios. If the RB21 fails here, it will feel as if its recovery in Monza and Baku was a mirage limited to favorable tracks. The consequences would also affect the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull is still fighting to catch Mercedes and Ferrari in the upper mid-table, but every race lost at a track like Singapore means losing valuable points that could be decisive at the end of the season. The team's minimum objective is to finish as high as possible to secure the financial and sporting benefits that come with a final championship position. A poor performance in Singapore would not only complicate that objective, but would also give breathing room to their direct rivals, who historically adapt better to these types of high downforce circuits. On a deeper level, the blow could be psychological. For Verstappen, failing to perform at a track where he has never won would confirm an unfinished business that persists year after year. And for Red Bull, seeing that the car's improvements aren't holding up in an environment like Marina Bay would be a worrying sign that the RB21 concept continues to suffer from structural limitations. These kinds of messages, when they become visible in the middle of the season, often trigger doubts both inside and outside the team, and sometimes even precipitate changes in the technical direction and development philosophy for the following year. Looking ahead, the Singapore Grand Prix will be the definitive indicator of whether Red Bull has truly found the path to recovery or if its recent victories were simply circumstantial. In the best-case scenario, if the RB21 manages to perform competitively on a high downforce circuit, the team will be able to approach the season finale with greater confidence, demonstrating that its updates work in different environments. This result would not only restore peace of mind to the team, but would also reinforce Laurent Mekies' leadership as team principal and consolidate Verstappen as the spearhead of a project that is still seeking consistency. However, if the car struggles again in Singapore, the outlook could become seriously complicated. A new weakness exposed would confirm that the RB21's problems are structural and that specific adjustments will not be enough to match rivals like McLaren or Ferrari. In that case, Red Bull would have to accept that its realistic fight no longer lies in titles, but rather in securing podium positions and urgently preparing the project for 2026. Mekies would be responsible for restructuring key development areas, as the lack of competitiveness on such demanding circuits would call into question the current technical direction. Looking ahead, Laurent Mekies' role will be pivotal. The new team principal has introduced a much more meticulous and data-driven technical approach, which could make the difference at a circuit as delicate as Marina Bay. His ability to translate driver feedback into effective adjustments could be decisive, not only in this race, but also as a working model that extends to the rest of the season. If Singapore confirms that the team can respond quickly to problems, Red Bull will build a stronger foundation to continue fighting for prestigious positions in the championship. Verstappen's statements, full of honesty and caution, have made it clear that he is aware of the magnitude of the challenge. It's not just about winning or losing, but about proving that, even with its limitations, Red Bull can compete on any type of circuit. If the Dutchman manages to achieve a positive result on a track that has historically eluded him, he will not only silence any doubts, he will also send an unequivocal message to his rivals that he is still willing to fight for every point in every race, even when the conditions are against him. But if the result again reveals weaknesses, it will be confirmation that McLaren's dominance and the pressure from Ferrari and Mercedes are too great to withstand with the current car. And now I ask you, do you think Verstappen will manage to turn Singapore into the turning point Red Bull needs, or will we see his weaknesses once again come to light? Leave me your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.